My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. With the grace and blessings of Sri Prabhuji, we welcome you all to the 9-day celebration of the Gita Sandesha.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಯೋತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಣಾಮಗಳು. ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರಭುಜಿಯವರ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ಮತ್ತು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಗೀತಾ ಸಂದೇಶದ 9 ದಿನಗಳ ಆಚರಣೆಗೆ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸುತ್ತೇವೆ.
Let us realize the eternal wisdom shared by Krishna himself and bring out Krishna from within.
ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಕೃಷ್ಣನೇ ತಿಳಿಸುವ ದಿವ್ಯ ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನು ಅರಿತುಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೃಷ್ಣತ್ವವನ್ನ ಹೊರತರೋಣ. ಬನ್ನಿ.
ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಯೋತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಾಷ್ಟಾಂಗ ಪ್ರಣಾಮಗಳು. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೀತಾ ಜಯಂತಿಯ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. ಗೀತಾ ಜಯಂತಿಯ ಈ ಶುಭ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಆಜೀವ ಪರ್ಯಂತದ ಮೈತ್ರಿಯನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವ ಮೈತ್ರೇಯಿ ಕಶ್ಯಪ್ ಅವರನ್ನು ಸಂದರ್ಶಿಸೋಣ. ಗೀತೆಯ ಸುಗಾನ ಅವರನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಕೈ ಹಿಡಿದು ಕರೆದೊಯ್ದಿದೆ, ಅವರ ಜೀವನ ಹೇಗೆ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯದಿಂದ ಕಂಗೊಳಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಸುಗಂಧಭರಿತವಾಗಿದೆ ಎಂಬುದನ್ನು ಅವರ ಮಾತುಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಕೇಳೋಣ ಬನ್ನಿ.
ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಕ್ಕ ನಮಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 33 ಜನದಷ್ಟು ಆನ್ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದರು. ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಇದು AVSC ಎಲ್ಲ ಶುರು ಆಯ್ತು. ಗುರುಜಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಆ ತತ್ವಬೋಧ ಮತ್ತೆ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾಮ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಇದು ಆ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳ್ಕೊಳತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಅನುಭವದಲ್ಲಿ. ಆದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮುಂದೆ ನೀನು ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥೈಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದಾಗ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಬರತ್ತೆ ನನ್ಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. 126 ಅಥವಾ 108 ಏನ್ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂದೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗಾಗ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ನಾನು ನರಕ ಚತುರ್ದಶಿ ಗುರುಜಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು. ಗುರುಜಿ ಬಂದ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೈವಾಸುರ ಸಂಪತ್ ವಿಭಾಗ ಯೋಗ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ನನ್ಗೆ ಗುರುಜಿ ಎಸೆದಂತ ಒಂದು ಇದು ಸೀಡ್ ಅದೇನಾಯ್ತು, ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾರ್ಗು ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ದೈವಾಸುರ ಸಂಪತ್ ವಿಭಾಗ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ದೀಪ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ್ಕೂಡಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ ಮಾಸದ ಅಷ್ಟು ದಿನವೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ 16ನೇ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯ, ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಕೆಲವು ಸತಿ 2 ಸತಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ದ್ವಾದಶಿ ದಿವಸ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಯೋಗ ಮತ್ತು ಅಧಿಕ ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಪುರುಷೋತ್ತಮ ಯೋಗ, ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ದೈವಾಸುರ ಸಂಪತ್ ವಿಭಾಗ. ಸೊ ಈ 3 ತುಂಬಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯಗಳು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಅದೇ ತರನೇ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. ಈಗ 700 ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈ 3 ಅಧ್ಯಾಯವು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳತ್ವೆ ಆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ಒಂದ್ 10 ಜನ ಮಕ್ಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಡೈಲಿನೇ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊರತ್ತೆ. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮ್ಮನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ಈಗಿನ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗಿರೋಂಥದ್ದು. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆನೂ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಈವನ್ ಗೀತಾರ್ಪಣದಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದ್ ಲೈನ್ ಹಾಕೋಣ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದೆ, ನಾನು ಇದಿಷ್ಟುನು ನನ್ಗಿನ್ನೇನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ನಾನು ನಡೆದು ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ದಾರಿ. ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಈಗ್ಲೂ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಆಳವಾಗಿ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಪೂರ್ಣ ಯೋಗ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಗುರುಜಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಸತಿ ಕೇಳಿ ಸುಮ್ನಾಗೋ ಅಂತದಲ್ಲ. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯವನ್ನೇ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು 2 ಅವರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದೊಂದು ದಿವಸನೇ 2 ಅವರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ 2 ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಒಂದ್ ಸತಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, 2 ಸತಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, 3 ಸತಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಷಯಗಳು ಉಳ್ಕೊಳತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಹೇಳೋ ಅಂತದ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿದೆ ಅಮ್ಮ. ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿತ್ತು. 2009ರಿಂದ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದ್ದ ತಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಸುಮಾರು 13 ವರ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ. ತಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು 10-15 ಸಾವಿರ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ.
ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಾನು ವಿಷಯ ಹೇಳದ್ ಮರ್ತೆ. ನಾ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸತಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ನಾನು ಕಲಿತಂತಹ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯನ್ನ ಕನಿಷ್ಠ ಪಕ್ಷ 10 ಜನಕ್ಕಾದ್ರೂ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವಿತ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದೇನಾಗಿದೆ, ನನ್ ಕೌಂಟಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ದೇನೆ, ನನಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ದೇನೆ ಮಕ್ಳುಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು, ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವ್ರು ಕಲ್ತು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂಥರ ಪರಿಪಕ್ವ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಗಿರ್ಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನ್ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಅಂಕೆ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನೂನು ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಲಸ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾನ್ ತುಮಕೂರಿಂದ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಇದು ಶುರು ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಇರದೆ ಯಶವಂತಪುರದಿಂದ ಯಲಹಂಕ ತನಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನೋಡೋಣ ದೈವೇಚ್ಛೆ ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಖಂಡಿತ
ಗುರುಕೃಪೆ ಅಂತೂ ಇದೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನನ್ಗೆ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಗುರು.
ಈಗ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಂದರ್ಶನ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತಾವು ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮೂಲಂ ಗುರುವರ್ ಮೂರ್ತಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮೂಲಕ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆನಲ್ಲೂ ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣ ಒಂದು ಗುರು ರೂಪದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು.
ಹೌದು.
ನಿಮಗೆ ಸದ್ಗುರುಗಳು ನರಸಿಂಹ ಪ್ರಭುಜಿ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ರು.
ಖಂಡಿತ. ಅವರು ನನ್ನ ಬದುಕಲ್ಲಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣನೇ, ಬೇರೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಬಹಳ ದುಃಖಿತಳಾಗಿದೆ. ನನಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ದುಃಖ ಅಡಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಗುರುಜಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನನ್ಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಅನುಭವ ಆಯ್ತು. ಅವರು ಚಕ್ರ ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದ ಅವಾಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ರು, ಏನು ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್. ಆ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನಮ್ಮ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು ಆ ಸಮಯ, ಅವಾಗಿದ್ದ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮೈತ್ರೇಯಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಂದು ದುಃಖ ಉಮ್ಮಳಿಸಿ ಬಂದು ಅದು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಂಥದ್ದು ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಬರ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಡ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ನನಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ತ್ವಮೇವ ಮಾತಾ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ದಿನ ನನ್ ಕಣ್ಣೀರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಮೊದ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಮೊಳಕೆ ಹೊಡೆದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸೀಡ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಅವರು ಅಂಗಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿತ್ತು. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಅವ್ರು ನನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಇಷ್ಟು.
ನಿಮಗೆ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆನಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಸತ್ಯದ ಸಂದೇಶ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಭುಜಿಯವರ ಜೀವನದಿಂದನೂ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಬೀರ್ತು ಅಂತ ತಮಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ? ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ
ನಾನು ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದರಿಂದಲೇ ನನಗೆ ಸದ್ಗುರುಗಳು. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ 2ನೇ ಸ್ಥಾನ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಗುರುಗಳೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅದನ್ನ ನನ್ಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ರು. ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು ನನ್ಗೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬರೀ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳನ್ನ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನ ಓದುವಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ನನ್ಗಿದ್ದಿದ್ದು. ಅದನ್ನ ಇದನ್ನ ನನ್ಗೆ ನೀರ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳು.
ಪ್ರಭುಜಿಯವ್ರು ಬಂದಾಗ ತಮಗೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಸ್ವೀಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತು ಅಂತ ತಮ್ಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ?
ಹೌದು. ನಾನ್ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಓದಿದಿಂದಾನೆ, ಇದೊಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಗುರುಗಳನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕೊಂಡು ಸುಮಾರು ಕಡೆ ಅಲ್ದಿದೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇವ್ರೆಲ್ಲ ಗುರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅನ್ಸೋದು ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಸುಮಾರು 3-4 ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಸರಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರೂಜಿ ಅವರ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲು ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಾಮನಾಥ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಅವರು ಕಿಶೋರ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಹೀಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಒಬ್ರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಗುರುಜಿನ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸತಿ ನೋಡ್ದಾಗ್ಲೇನೆ ನಾನು ಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಒಂಥರ ಶರಣಾಗತ ಇದು ಭಾವ. ನನ್ಗೇನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗುರುಜಿ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ, ಓಹೋ ಇವ್ರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು, ಇನ್ ನನ್ನ ಕಷ್ಟ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಭಾವ ಬಂದಿದೆ.
Namaste, my name is Hamsa Bhatt, and today me and my teammate Abhinav, we are here in front of you to present and just look into it a bit in short about what this chapter is, and 2 shlokas and with the meaning and the commentary. So now, what is Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga? So in Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga, 11th chapter, it is where Krishna grants Arjuna's wishes. Arjuna says there is no more confusion, nor doubt, and that you have chased all my delusion away, and the only truth is you and no other. Arjuna asks Krishna, "Who are you in this terrifying form?" Krishna responds that he is death, and that Arjuna must fight the battle because the Kauravas will die regardless. Krishna has already killed them. Arjuna is merely his instrument. Arjuna goes to Krishna and apologizes for any over-familiarity he might have shown. Now that he sees this terrifying form of Krishna, Arjuna is both amazed and afraid. He begs Krishna to return to his previous, more human form. Krishna explains he has shown his horrific form to no one but Arjuna itself. So now let us look into a bit of the few shlokas with the meaning and the commentary, so that we can understand at least a small amount of this beautiful and interesting chapter.
In chapter 11, as per Arjuna's request, Sri Krishna grants Arjuna the divine powers and vision to see his infinite form that comprises all the universes. Arjuna sees the entire creation in the body of the Supreme Lord with unlimited arms, faces and stomachs. The Vishwarupa has no beginning or end, extending immeasurably in all directions. Sri Krishna's radiance was equivalent to that of 1,000 suns blazing together in the sky. The sight dazzles Arjuna. The Lord declares that he himself is Kala or time, the destroyer of 3 worlds. He says, "O Arjuna, I have already destroyed all the Kauravas and the victory of Pandavas is certain. Therefore, don't be fearful. Just get up and fight the war." After manifesting himself back to his human form, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that it was only Arjuna and no one else before him had seen the Vishwa, the Lord in his primeval cosmic form. Even those who study Vedas, those who perform severe penance, charity, or fire sacrifices do not get this opportunity. Only with complete surrender, unalloyed devotion similar to that of Arjuna, that one can see God, get to know Him, and attain yoga or union with the Supreme Lord.
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ विश्वरूपदर्शनयोगो नाम एकादशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच भक्त्या त्वनन्यया शक्या अहमेवं विदोऽर्जुन ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप। मत्कर्म कृन्मत्परमः मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पाण्डव। ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे विश्वरूपदर्शनयोगो नाम एकादशोऽध्यायः। हरिः ओम्।
As part of Gita Jayanti 2022, I am presenting a presentation on Chapter 11, Vishwa Darshana. In the Battle of Kurukshetra, Sri Krishna says Arjuna that the entire universe is only a small fraction of God. He also describes 6 qualities of Ishvara. He says Ishvara is of omnipotence, omnipresence, omniscience, infinite strength, infinite virtue, infinite splendor. These are the 6 qualities which characterize the God principle. Arjuna, after knowing qualities of Bhagavan, requests Krishna that he desires to see Vishwara in his cosmic form. Vishwa Darshana. Krishna gives Vishwa Darshana to Arjuna as per his humble request. Whilst in the palace, Sanjaya says Dhritarashtra that Lord Krishna is now giving his supreme cosmic form to Arjuna and the process has just begun. Sometime earlier, sage Veda Vyasa had given power to Sanjaya so he can see events at a distance as if they were right to happen in front of him. In this way, Sanjaya also visualizes Krishna's universal form, Vishwa Darshana, while he was seated in the palace. Overwhelmed, Arjuna starts praising the Lord who, in his infinite forms, pervades the entire universe. Arjuna offers several salutations to his majestic form. Atmano mokshartam jagadhitaya cha. Thank you.
Bharadwaj. Today I am going to tell a story. In this story, Krishna says Arjuna how one should be able to see God in everyone, as everything in the world is his own manifestation, and not to look down upon others. One day, Krishna and Arjuna were taking their usual walk when they came across an old Brahmin begging. Taking pity on his condition, Arjuna gave him a bag of gold coins. The man was overjoyed and went home. On his way, he was robbed by a thief in the forest. He cursed his fate and went back to beg again. Arjuna and Krishna saw again, and when Arjuna got to know of his story, once again took pity and gave him a large diamond. The Brahmin took it home and kept it in an old pot which had been unused for many years in order to keep it safe, and went to sleep. The next morning, before he could even wake up, his wife went to fetch water from the river, and on her way back she slipped and the pot broke. She immediately remembered that the pot at home which lay unused and bought it to fill it with water. Just as she dipped the pot into the river, the Brahmin's diamond escaped and went into the river. When she returned home, the Brahmin was desperately searching the house for the pot, and when he saw it in his wife's hands, he got to know what had happened. Dejected with what had happened, he went back to begging again. Once again, Arjuna saw him, and when Arjuna heard of his unfortunate incident that had happened, he told Krishna, I don't think that this man is destined to be blessed at all. I don't think that I can help him anymore. Krishna then gave the man 2 pennies, and the man took them and walked away. Arjuna then asked Krishna, My Lord, if gold coins and diamond could not change his conditions, what good can 2 pennies do to him? Krishna smiled and replied, Let us see. As the man walked home, he was cursing his fate, and when he saw a fish that had been caught by a fisherman and was struggling for its own life, he took pity on it and thought to himself, These 2 pennies cannot fetch me food anyway. Let me at least save the life of this poor creature. And he purchased the fish, and he was about to throw it in the river when he saw that the breathlessness of the fish was caused due to some large obstruction in its mouth. And when he removed it, it was the very diamond he had lost in the river. He was overjoyed and started shouting, Look what I found! Look what I found! At this very time, the thief that had robbed him in the forest was passing by and heard the Brahmin's shouts. He recognized the Brahmin and thought that the Brahmin too recognized him and was thus shouting. Fearing that the Brahmin may take him to be executed, he rushed and begged for his life and forgiveness and returned all the gold coins that had been stolen from him. The Brahmin was happy and walked away joyfully with all his wealth. He went straight to Arjuna to narrate the turn of events and thanked him all of his help and went away. Arjuna then asked Krishna, My Lord, how is that my gold and diamond could not help him, but your meager 2 pennies did? Krishna replied, When he had the gold and the diamond, he was only thinking of himself and his needs. But when he had the 2 pennies, he put the needs of another creature before his, and so I took care of his needs. The truth is, O Arjuna, when you think of the pain and needs of others and work to help them, or doing God's work, and hence God Himself takes care of you. Arjuna, who is Krishna's Sakha or friend, learns his lesson. Let us practice to serve others physically, financially, and mentally, particularly the needy ones. Thank you.
Hari Om. For this year's Gita Jayanti, I would like to present you with the story of Lord Krishna and Sudama. Lord Krishna and Sudama were childhood friends and schoolmates at Gokul. They studied under the guidance of Sandipani. After the education got completed, they got separated. But neither Krishna nor Sudama could not forget their divine friendship. Both Krishna and Sudama grew up. Sudama and his wife had poverty-stricken life, whereas Krishna became the king of Dwaraka. When Sudama and his wife were struggling much from poverty and had no food to feed their children, his wife Vasundhara reminded him about his childhood friend Krishna and pleased him to ask Krishna for some help. Although initially Sudama was not ready. Later he agreed to travel to Dwaraka. He left with some beaten rice as he remembered the Krishna's favoritism for beaten rice. In Dwaraka, Sudama asked the gate guardians to let him go, and he even told that Krishna was his childhood friend. But the gate guardians did not let him go inside. And after numerous requests, the gate guardians decided to ask Krishna about Sudama. When Krishna got to know the presence of Sudama at the gate, he ran leaving everything because he was eager to see his friend and he was pleaded to see his old friend. Then he hugged him. Then Krishna washed Sudama's leg with his own hands and to offer him godly respect and treatment for Sudama. Krishna told his mates to get rid of ripe clothes instead, to give him royal clothes. And Krishna gave him a spread of food to eat. And after they both were relaxing and talking about their olden days, Krishna thought something Sudama is hiding from him. Krishna said, "I feel something delicious for me." Krishna tried to point out that food, but Sudama refused to give it, and he thought that, after all, a packet of rice doesn't matter, is nothing for the king of Dwaraka. But Krishna took it gently and said, "This best gift I ever got. Thank you, Sudama." And he started eating and he even shared with Rukmini. Krishna told that he forgot the reason to ask the reason, why did you come here? But Sudama refused to tell and even didn't tell. But Krishna got to know the poverty which he had and blessed him with everything necessary he needed. And Sudama went home and was surprised to see his small hut became a big house. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Vaibhavi, and as part of Gita Jayanti, I'll be telling a story about Vamana or Trivikrama. Lord Vishnu took many avatars and incarnated upon the earth to help mankind rescue and establish stability and faith among people. Vamana or Trivikrama is the fifth and first avatar of Lord Vishnu during the Treta Yuga. According to Sanskrit language, Vamana means dwarf and Trivikrama means 3 steps. The stories of Vamana or Trivikrama are found in many Hindu scriptures, 2 of them being in the hymns of Rig Veda and Bhagavata Purana. King Bali, the grandson of Prahlad and the son of Virochana, after strict penance, was able to please Lord Brahma. He asked for a boon that he should never be defeated in any war, as he wanted to establish a prosperous kingdom run by an Asura. Lord Brahma felt him to be a noble Asura and granted him the boon. King Bali also adored his guru Shukracharya and blessed him with a garland of ever-blooming flowers and a conch. King Bali was also an ardent devotee of Lord Vishnu. After several battles, King Bali spread his kingdom through the heavens by defeating Indra. Indra went home upset. His mother, Aditi, seeing this, asked him the reason behind his sadness. She then decides to help him and prays to incarnate Lord Vishnu. When he shows up, she asks him to be born as her child to defeat King Bali, as he was on his way to replace Indra. Lord Vishnu could not help but agree to what Aditi had said, as King Bali was also a true devotee of his. Lord Vishnu is then born as the 10th child of Aditi, as a dark but radiant child. Since he was a dwarf, he was named Vamana. In the meanwhile, Guru Shukracharya had asked King Bali to perform 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas in order to maintain his kingdoms and kingship. He also told to never let any Brahmin return empty-handed from him. As King Bali had performed 99 Yajnas, and as he was performing the 100th Yajna, Vamana enters his court. King Bali feels attracted to Vamana and gets influenced by his radiance. But his guru Shukracharya knows that he is no ordinary Brahmin, but Lord Vishnu himself. He warns Bali about this Brahmin. But King Bali, keeping his vow of never letting any Brahmin go empty-handed from him, decides to take in this Brahmin and grant his boon whatsoever. He was also overwhelmed with the fact that Lord Vishnu himself had come to seek something from him. He being his devotee could not let go of this opportunity. He goes forth and asks him what he wants from him. Vamana then asks for only 3 pieces of land, quite unexpected to what Bali had thought of. He grants his wish and is amazed to see the giant form that Lord Vishnu takes. When he moves his first foot, he reaches the heavens. Then the second foot, he reaches the hell or the Netherlands. Then he asks King Bali as to where he should keep his third foot, as with 2 paces he already covered the 3 worlds. King Bali then offers his head to Lord Vishnu to place his 3rd step. Marked by his devote to him and his righteous attitude towards his kingdom and people, Lord Vishnu grants him a boon that he can rule the Netherlands, and once in every year he can come back to earth to make sure the good governance in his kingdom, and that day is celebrated as Onam. This story has a symbolic significance that portrays the three steps as three states of a being's consciousness. These are Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti, which means conscious, dream and deep sleep respectively. And the final step that Lord Vishnu takes signifies that the leap that one has to take to achieve salvation and liberate oneself from the vicious circle of life, death and rebirth. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. I am Anirudh. As a part of Gita Jayanti 2022, I am offering this to Krishna. Long ago, once Arjuna went to Dwaraka to meet Krishna, the king of Dwaraka. And then Arjuna told Krishna, Lord, I possess the great Gandiva bow. I shall defeat any evil that comes in my way. And then both were talking together. And then they both heard a man crying. So they looked towards the palace and saw a Brahmin crying. They went up to the Brahmin and Arjuna asked, Dear Brahmin, why are you crying? The Brahmin said, All my 9 sons are dead and no king has been able to protect them. And then Arjuna asked Krishna, Krishna, you have been a great ruler and why are you not able to protect a Brahmin son? So Krishna was still smiling. Arjuna didn't understand why Krishna was still smiling. So he rose up and said, O Brahmin, I will protect your 10th son. Then the Brahmin asked, if Krishna and Balarama couldn't even protect the son, how will you protect it? And then Arjuna said, O Brahmin, I possess the great Gandiva bow. Nobody will defeat me. And if I am not able to protect your son, I promise that I will jump into the fire. The Brahmin was reassured and he went away. So after 2 months, the Brahmin came back to Arjuna and told Arjuna that his 10th son will be born soon. So Arjuna followed the Brahmin to the hut and he shot numerous arrows around the hut, so that will protect the hut with his great Gandiva bow. And he himself stood at the entrance of the hut to protect it. So after a few minutes, he heard a baby cry. The Brahmin went in and came back very angry. My 10th son has died and you have not been able to protect him. My wife says that he vanished as soon as he born. Arjuna felt sorry for the Brahmin and promised him to return the son wherever he was. So Arjuna went in search everywhere, but he still couldn't find the son. So he set up a fire and was about to jump into it, and then he heard Krishna call, Don't jump, Arjuna. So he looked at Krishna, and Krishna said, I shall take you where the 10th son of the Brahmin is. Arjuna was shocked and surprised, and he thought that Krishna knew where the son was, but he didn't even tell him. So Krishna and Arjuna boarded into a chariot and they went into a dark tunnel. And then Krishna set his Sudarshana chakra to lead the way. So they both reached, and lo, they saw Lord Vishnu sleeping on the Sheshnag. So Arjuna bowed to Lord Vishnu, and Krishna, who himself is the avatar of Lord Vishnu, bowed to Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu was surrounded by all the 10 sons of the Brahmin. Arjuna looked in surprise at Krishna, and Krishna said, Don't look in surprise, Arjuna, when you thought that you could protect the 10th son of the Brahmin, while even I couldn't. And then Krishna said, This was just a test for you. Arjuna looked at Krishna in surprise, and Krishna said, Don't look in surprise, Arjuna. You thought that you could help the 10th son of the Brahmin, while even I did not. All this was done to teach you a lesson to not boast of your powers. So Lord Vishnu said, Arjuna, spread the message of Dharma and use your Gandiva bow to destroy all the evils. Arjuna bowed to Lord Vishnu on his knees, and Krishna, who himself was the avatar of Lord Vishnu, bowed to Lord Vishnu. Arjuna thanked Lord Vishnu and took all the 10 sons and returned them to the Brahmin. So that was the lesson of Dharma we learned today. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
भक्त्या त्वनन्यया शक्यमहमेवं विधोऽर्जुन ज्ञातुं दृष्टं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप. Translation: O Arjun, by unalloyed devotion alone can I be known as I am, standing before you. Thereby, on receiving my divine vision, O scorcher of foes, one can enter into union with me. Commentary. In this verse, Sri Krishna emphasizes bhakti as the main of attaining him. Earlier, in verse 14.11, he had stated that his universal form can be seen only by devotion. Now, in this verse, Sri Krishna emphatically declares that his two-armed form, as he is standing before Arjuna, can only be realized through bhakti. This has been repeatedly stated in the Vedic scriptures. Devotion alone will unite us with God. Devotion alone will help us to see Him. Devotion alone will help us to attain Him. God is enslaved by true devotion, which is the best of all paths. I am only attained through bhakti. Those who engage in my bhakti with faith are very dear to me. Verse, Sri Krishna describes what bhakti is.
Mat karma krin mat paramaha mat bhaktas sanga varjitaha nirvairas sarva bhuteshu yasamameti pandava. So the translation of this shloka is: those who perform all their duties for my sake, who depend upon me and are devoted to me, who are free from attachment and are without malice towards all beings, such devotees certainly come to me. Now let's look into the commentary and inner meaning of the shloka. So at the end of the 9th chapter, Shri Krishna had told Arjuna to fix his mind upon him and be devoted to him. To enhance that devotion, he wished to reveal further secrets about himself, which he did in the 10th and 11th chapter. In the previous verse, he again emphasized the supremacy of the path of devotion. Now he concludes this chapter by highlighting 5 characteristics of those who are engaged in the exclusive devotion. They perform all their duties for my sake. Accomplished devotees do not divide their works into material and spiritual. They perform every work for the pleasure of the God, thus concentrating every act of theirs to Him. They depend upon me. Those who rely upon their spiritual practices to reach God are not exclusively dependent upon Him. That is because He is attained by His grace and not by spiritual practice. They are devoted to me. The devotees do not feel the need for performing any of the other spiritual practices, such as cultivation of the knowledge of Sankhya, practice of Ashtanga Yoga, performance of fire sacrifices, etc. in this way. They feel that their relationship is with God alone. They are free of attachment. Devotion requires the engagement of the mind. This is only possible if the mind is detached from the body. They are without malice towards all beings. If the heart fills up with malice, it will not remain again exclusive towards God. Thus, exclusive devotees do not harbor any malice.
Krishna, Krishna, वो है Krishna, Krishna.
Hari Om. Happy Gita Jayanti. Om Srimad Bhagavad Gita अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः Bhakti Yogaः अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ताये भक्ता स्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तम् तेषां ते योगवित्तमाः श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेता ते मे युक्ततमा मताः.
My pranams to all the Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. Happy Gita Jayanti to all of you. Myself Namit and with me is Sadaya. We both together welcome you all to the 6th day of Gita Sandesha towards the 12th chapter of Bhakti Yoga.
We feel so blessed to be hosting the Bhakti Yoga chapter in front of you all. And it was so divine chanting the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? Namit, could you please brief us with a summary of Bhakti Yoga?
So, Bhakti Yoga focuses on developing our dedication and service and love for divinity. In this chapter, the chapter begins with Arjuna asking Sri Krishna about two types of yogis, who Sri Krishna considers them as perfect.
So, what are the paths of bhakti referring here?
Here, one can worship the formless Amman, or one can be devoted to the personal form of God. Lord Krishna declares that devotees can attain him by both paths. However, he considers those who worship his personal form as the best yogis.
So, is the path of Bhakti Yoga developed by mantra, meditation, or chanting the name of God?
Yes, the best way to explain Bhakti is from Vachana Sahitya, the Bhakti movement that flourished across various literary cultures gave rise to a distinct genre of expression in Kannada. This was Vachana, easily understood as free. These are poems or sayings or brief paragraphs ending with one of the other local names under which Shiva is offered puja by his devotees. Now let's watch a musical performance by Atmajyoti Kusumaji and her team.
Vachana can be identified by its style of invocation of God. For example, Basaveshwara invokes Kudala Sangamadeva, while Allamma Prabhu invokes Guheshwara, and Akka Mahadevi invokes Channa Mallikarjuna.
ಶುಭೋದಯ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ನಾನು ಅಕ್ಕ ಮಹಾದೇವಿ. ಕಾಲ 12ನೇ ಶತಮಾನ. ಊರು ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ಶಿಕಾರಿಪುರ ತಾಲೂಕಿನ ಉಡುತಡಿ ಗ್ರಾಮ. ಅಂಕಿತ ನಾಮ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ. ವಚನ: ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ಮೇಲೊಂದು ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೃಗಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿದೊಡೆಯಂತಯ್ಯ. ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ಮೇಲೊಂದು ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೃಗಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿದೊಡೆಯಂತಯ್ಯ. ಸಮುದ್ರದ ತಡೆಯಲೊಂದು ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನೊರೆತೆರೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿದೊಡೆಯಂತಯ್ಯ. ಸಮುದ್ರದ ತಡೆಯಲೊಂದು ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನೊರೆತೆರೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿದೊಡೆಯಂತಯ್ಯ. ಸಂತೆಯೊಳಗೊಂದು ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಚಿದೊಡೆಯಂತಯ್ಯ. ಸಂತೆಯೊಳಗೊಂದು ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಚಿದೊಡೆಯಂತಯ್ಯ. ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ದೇವ ಕೇಳಯ್ಯ. ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ದೇವ ಕೇಳಯ್ಯ. ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಬಳಿಕ ಸ್ತುತಿ ನಿಂದೆಗಳು ಬಂದರೆ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಪವ ತಾಳದೆ ಸಮಾಧಾನಿಯಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಬಳಿಕ ಸ್ತುತಿ ನಿಂದೆಗಳು ಬಂದರೆ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಪವ ತಾಳದೆ ಸಮಾಧಾನಿಯಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
What a divine singing by the team. Thank you all for the wonderful performance. So, this Bhakti Yoga explains that one who manages to remain concentrated on Krishna or worship him with unflattering faith and are rescued from the cycle of life and death.
Yes, Jnana, Karma, Bhakti are blended for harmonious flowering. When one surrenders to God with total faith and devotion, he attains peace.
Now, let's watch another set of dance and drama performances by Atma Jyoti.
What a wonderful program it was by our Atma Jyoti. So now let us see a skit. All of you like a skit, right? And I like a skit. So now let us watch a skit of Bhukailasa, which is about Ravana's penance to Lord Shiva. So I'm very excited. I hope you are excited too. So let us watch this Bhukailasa skit.
ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಗೀತಾ ಜಯಂತಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಭೂಕೈಲಾಸ ಎಂಬ ನಾಟಕವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಾನು ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್ ಶಿವನಾಗಿ.
ನಾನು ಶಶಾಂಕ್ ಗಣಪನಾಗಿ.
ನಾನು ಧೀರಜ್ ನಾರದನಾಗಿ.
ನಾನು ಋಷಿಕೇಶ್ ರಾವಣನಾಗಿ. ಆಹಾ ಪಶುಪತಿ, ಇದೇನು ನಿನ್ನ ಲೀಲೆ? ಈ ತಾಣ ಅದೆಷ್ಟು ಸೊಗಸಾಗಿದೆ. ಚಿಲಿಪಿಲಿಗುಟ್ಟುವ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳ ಗುಂಪು, ತಣ್ಣನೆ ತೀಡಿ ಬರುವ ತಂಗಾಳಿ, ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಸಮುದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಳುಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ಸೂರ್ಯ. ಓಹ್, ಸಂಧ್ಯಾಕಾಲ ಮುಗಿಯುವಂತಿದೆ. ನನ್ನ ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮಯ ಮೀರುವುದಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಮಾಡಲಿ? ಈ ಆತ್ಮಲಿಂಗವನ್ನು ಯಾರ ಕೈಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪಿಸಲಿ? ಓಹ್, ಒಟ್ಟು ಒಬ್ಬ ಇತ್ತಲೇ ಬರುತ್ತಿರುವನು. ಆತನನ್ನೇ ಕರೆಯುವೆ. ಅಯ್ಯ ಕುಮಾರ, ಇತ್ತ ಬಾ.
ಏನಯ್ಯ, ನನ್ನನ್ನೇಕೆ ಕರೆದೆ?
ನಿನ್ನ ಹೆಸರೇನು ಪುಟ್ಟ?
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಗಣಪ.
ನಿನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಯಾರು?
ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ, ತಾಯಿ ಶಾಂಭವಿ.
ನೋಡು ಗಣಪ, ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡುವೆಯಾ?
ನನ್ನಿಂದಾಗುವುದಾದರೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ.
ನೋಡು ಗಣಪ, ನನಗೆ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ವಂದನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ನನ್ನ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಆತ್ಮಲಿಂಗವನ್ನು ನೆಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡುವಂತಿಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ವಂದನೆ ಮುಗಿಯುವವರೆಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿದುಕೊಂಡಿರುವೆಯಾ?
ಆಗಲಿ, ಇತ್ತ ಕೊಡಿ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಭಾರವಾಗಿದೆ, ನನ್ನಿಂದ ಆಗದು.
ಹೆದರಬೇಡ, ನನ್ನ ಜಪ ಮುಗಿಯುವವರೆಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿದುಕೊಂಡಿರು.
ಆಗಲಿ.
ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ. ಸದ್ಯ ಶಿವನ ಆತ್ಮಲಿಂಗವನ್ನು ರಾವಣನು ನಿನ್ನ ಕೈಗೊಪ್ಪಿಸಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಆದಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ನೆಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡು.
ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ನಾರದರೆ? ಇದನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿದುಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೇನೆ ಎಂದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಾತು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವೆ. ವಚನ ಭಂಗ ಮಾಡಲೇ?
ವಚನ ಭಂಗ ಮಾಡಬಾರದು. ಆದರೆ ನೀನೇ ಅವನೊಡನೆ ಹೇಳಿದಂತೆ 3 ಬಾರಿ ಕರೆದು ತೊಲಗಿಡು.
ಆಗಲಿ, ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ರಾವಣ ರಾವಣ
ಅಂಬಾತನಯ, ಇನ್ನೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕೂಗಿಬಿಡು.
ರಾವಣ, ಬಾರ ತಡೆಯಲಾರೆ, ಬೇಗ ಬಾ.
ಗಣೇಶ, ಇದು ಅಂತಿಮ ಕ್ಷಣ. ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಹಾಲಿನಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಹಾಕು, ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಹಾಕು, ನಿನ್ನಿಷ್ಟ. ನಾನಿನ್ನು ಬರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ.
ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ನಾರದರು. ಪಾಪ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಭಯ. ಈ ರಾವಣನ ಅರಮನೆ ಕಾಯುವುದು ಯಾರಿಗಾದರೂ ಕಷ್ಟವೇ? ಓ, ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನ ಮುಗಿಯುವಂತಿದೆ. ರಾವಣ, ಬಾರ ತಡೆಯಲಾರೆ, ಬೇಗ ಬಾ. ಇದು ನೀನು ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಲಿಂಗವನ್ನು ನೆಲದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಇಟ್ಟೇ ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ.
ಬಂದೆ ಬಂದೆ ಗಣಪ, ಇಡಬೇಡ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಎಂತಹ ಚಾತುರ್ಯ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
ಇವನ್ಯಾರೆಂದು ನಿನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ?
ಯಾರಾದರೆ ನನಗೇನು?
ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಲಂಕೇಶ್ವರ, ಇವನು ಶಿವಪಾರ್ವತಿಯರ ಮಗ, ಪ್ರಮಥ ಗಣಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಡೆಯನಾದ ಗಣಪತಿ.
ಗಣಪತಿಯೇ? ಇವನೇಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ತಡೆಯೊಡ್ಡಿದ?
ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಆರಂಭಿಸುವ ಮೊದಲು ಈತನಿಗೆ ಪೂಜೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕೆಂಬುದು ಶಿವಪಾರ್ವತಿಯರ ಆಜ್ಞೆ. ಪೂಜೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸದಿದ್ದರೆ ಇವನು ವಿಘ್ನಕಾರಕನಾಗುತ್ತಾನೆ, ಕಾರ್ಯ ಫಲಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀನು ತಪವನ್ನಾಚರಿಸುವ ಮೊದಲು ಈತನಿಗೆ ಪೂಜೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೀಗಾಯಿತು.
ಹೌದೇ? ಅಯ್ಯ ಗಣೇಶ, ಕ್ಷಮಿಸು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ಕ್ಷಮಿಸು.
ಶುಭವಾಗಲಿ, ನಿನಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ.
ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ.
ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಮಾತೆಯ ಆಸೆಯನ್ನು ತೀರಿಸಲಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲವಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಆತ್ಮಲಿಂಗವನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕಿತ್ತಿ ಒಯ್ಯಲೇಬೇಕು. ಓಂ ನಮಃ ಶಿವಾಯ, ಓಂ ನಮಃ ಶಿವ, ಓಂ ನಮಃ ಶಿವಾಯ.
ಮುಕ್ತಾಗ್ರೇಸರ ರಾವಣ, ಹೇಳು, ಎದ್ದೇಳು.
ಪ್ರಭು, ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷನಾದೆಯ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ, ಎಂತಹವರ ಪಾಲಿಸಿದೆ ದೇವ. ಆತ್ಮಲಿಂಗವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತೆ ನಟಿಸಿ ಸಮುದ್ರ ತೀರದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲೆಯೂರುವಂತೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಮಾತೆ ಕೈಕಸಾದೇವಿಗೆ ಏನೆಂದು ಉತ್ತರ ನೀಡಲಿ?
ಲಂಕೇಶ, ಹತಾಶೆ ಕ್ರೋಧಗಳಿಗೆ ವಶನಾಗಬೇಡ. ನಿನ್ನ ತಪ್ಪುಗಳನ್ನು ತಿದ್ದಿಕೋ. ಮಾತೆ ಮಾದಾಸೆ ಈಡೇರಿಸಲು ಬಂದ ನೀನು ಬೇಡಿದ್ದಾದರೂ ಏನು? ವಿಶ್ವದ ಸಕಲ ಚರಾಚರಗಳ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ವರೂಪವಾದ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರ್ಲಿಂಗವನ್ನು, ಅದು ಸಕಲರಿಗೂ ಸೇರಿತು. 3 ಲೋಕವನ್ನು ಗೆದ್ದೆ ಎಂಬ ಅಹಂಕಾರದಿಂದ ನೀನು ನಿನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾರ್ಥಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಈ ಆತ್ಮಲಿಂಗವನ್ನು ನಿನ್ನದಾಗಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಹೊರಟೆ. ಆದರೆ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಅದರ ಮಹಾಬಲದಿಂದ ನಿನ್ನನ್ನೇ ಆಗೆದ್ದಿತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ಈಗ ಮಹಾಬಲೇಶ್ವರ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರಿನಿಂದ ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಸಮುದ್ರ ತೀರದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲೆಸಲಿ, ಭಕ್ತರಿಂದ ಪೂಜೆಗೊಳ್ಳಲಿ. ಇದು ಈ ಸ್ಥಳ ಗೋಕರ್ಣ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರಿನಿಂದ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧಿಗೊಳ್ಳಲಿ. ಮಾತೆ ಕೈಕಸಾದೇವಿಗೆ ಶಿವನ ಆತ್ಮಲಿಂಗವನ್ನು ಧರೆಗಿಳಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ ಎಂಬ ನಿನ್ನ ಮಾತು ಕೈಗೂಡಿದಂತಾಯಿತು. ಚಿಂತಿಸಬೇಡ.
ಧನ್ಯೋಸ್ಮಿ ಮಹಾದೇವ, ಧನ್ಯೋಸ್ಮಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
beautiful skit by the team of Kusumaji. Now we have come to the end of the program, and I would really like to thank Kusumaji and team for the wonderful performance this evening. So I hereby conclude the program for the day by adding few lines about Bhakti Yoga. 12th chapter of 20th verse, Sri Krishna emphasizes that the path of devotion is the highest amongst all spiritual practices. So I encourage you to take up Bhakti Yoga in your life and attain in peace, and you become free from all your sufferings. So now let's end with a closing prayer.
Asatoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari. I hope all of you enjoyed this program, and once again, happy Gita Jayanti to all of you. Hari Om.
Hari Om.